All right, so get ready for academic test 5-2. So this is the review so you can prepare for tomorrow's test when you watch this video. So let's go over it. So what do you need to know? You got to know how to solve inequalities and equations and find area and volume. Then you'll be successful. So number one, you are given this inequality. So how do you undo a minus 123? You add 123 to both sides. This side to side. This cancels. So n is less than or equal to, what's 300 plus 123? 423. So this is our inequality. So is this open dot or closed dot? Because there's an equal here, it has to be a closed dot. This symbol inequality means less. What numbers are less than 423? 422 and 421. Number two, Gloria earned $85 last week and working after school at the library. She's paid $5 per hour. That's why it's 5x. Multiplying relationship equals 85. How do you solve this equation? To undo a multiplication, you have to divide 5 on both sides. Cancel. 85 divided by 5 is 17. X equals 17. Number three, the area of a parallelogram. I'm going to draw a picture to help us out. The area of a parallelogram is 165. The base is right here. The base is 15 units. What is the height? Ooh, they forgot to tell us the height. So show the equation you would use to represent. So the equation I would use for parallelogram is A equal BH. We know what the area is 165. We know what the base is, 15. So what do I multiply by 15 to get 165? How do you undo a multiplication? You divide. So you divide 165 by 15 and you get 11. So check your work. If you multiply 15 by 11, you'll get 165, which is the area. So we did it correctly. Number four, you're going to be given models. Can you solve this? There are many ways to do it. You can solve it using a picture. So I need to isolate x. So I need to subtract 3 on both sides. Cancel, 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 cancel. It is x equals -8. Would -3 be a possible solution? Definitely not. But maybe you rather prefer to write it as an equation. X plus 3 equal -5. How do you undo a plus 3 with -3? Cancel, cancel. So that's why -5 with -3, -8. Number 5. So you have 3x's is equal to -15. Please solve this. Divide by 3, divide by 3, cancel. X equal 15 negatives divided into 3 groups is -5. Would -5 be a possible solution? Yes, it is. So to show your work, you could replace this with -5, -5, -5, -5, -5, -5 is -15. This side is -15. It is balanced. Number 6, solve this inequality and graph on the number line. So this is a multiplying relation. So I divide both sides by -3. Cancel. -24 divided by -3 is 8. Why is it +8? Opposite of a negative is positive. But notice how I flipped the sign. Do you remember when do you flip the inequality sign? When you multiply or divide by a negative number. So this is closed dot. This is more than 8. So this means more or equal to 8. That is the reason why we flip it around. Because if you don't flip it around, if you put in like 7 here, -3 times 7 is -21. That's not greater or equal to -24. That's why you had to flip it around. Number 7, C needs to draw an example of a triangle. Look at each set of angle measures. Determine if a triangle can be formed. All right, first of all, what 3 numbers, angles, if you add up the 3 angles of a triangle, for example, if you add up this number, this number, this number, what will it add up to? Hopefully you'll say a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. If you understand that, then you can answer any triangular question about angles. So 7, 25 plus 55 plus 100. Those three numbers add up to 180. Will it make a triangle? Yes, it will. Yes, yes, oh yes. Number 8, 64 plus 48 plus 58. If I add up these three angles, it adds up to 170. Will that make a triangle? No way. It is 10 less than it should be. Because I remember, the interior angles of a triangle should add up to 180. Now that you understand the history of it, you can answer a question like this. Look at the triangle below. As you can tell, angle C is missing a number. So let's write an equation. X plus 35 plus 80. What would this triangle add up to? 180. Can I make this more simpler? X plus 35 plus 80 is 115. Is this just a standard equation we've learned since the school year? Minus 115 are both sides, and that's why it is 65. Did you get a calculator and add up all three of these numbers? It will add up to 180 degrees. So the last part of the test, so we practiced our inequalities, equation, and triangles. The last part is about area of different shapes and volume. So let's look at number 10. This is a trapezoid. Find the area of this trapezoid. This is the formula right here. So B1, B2, those are called the bases. Base 1, base 2. H means the height. Notice how the 27 is chunk information. That is called the slant. We do not use that. So what do we do with the two bases? B1 plus B2, you add up the two bases, then you multiply it by the height, and you cut it in half. Because as we did in our experiment, if you have a trapezoid, a parallelogram is base times height. A trapezoid is half of a parallelogram. So 24 plus 48 is 72. 20 times 4. There are many ways to solve this. This is one way you can solve it. You can multiply 72 times 24, cut that number in half. Or you can do this. What's half of 72? 36. 36 times 24. Or you could do half of 24 is 12. 72 times 12. Many ways to solve this. I'm going to do half of 72, which is 36, times 24. The area is 864. Do you know why this is one of the most missed questions or star tests or just tests in general? What happened is kids will say, oh, the answer is 1,728, and I'll circle it and get it wrong. What do you think they did? What do you think they forgot to do on a test or any activity? They forgot to do half of it. So half of this is 864 square inches. Foster has two slices of homemade pizza. One of them is a rectangle, and the other one is in the shape of a triangle, as shown below. Write and solve an equation to determine the area of the rectangular slice. What is the formula, area formula for area of rectangle? It's base times height. What is the base here? 6. What is the height? 3.5. You know what? I'm going to prefer decimal, 3.5. 6 times 3.5. If you multiply that, 6 to 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 3 is 21. 21 square inches. Number 12 says, write and solve an equation to determine the area of the triangle. So if you turn your head sideways, so your head should go like this way, sideways, you'll notice that this is the base, this is the height, this is junk information called the slant. So the triangle formula is half of base times height. So the base is 6, the height is 7. Half of 6 is what? 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Or maybe you prefer to multiply the base times height, which is 42, and cut that number in half and get 21. What do you prefer to do? I like shortcuts, so I'm going to do half of 6, 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Again, this is one of the most missed questions in our upcoming tests. Kids do this. Oh, 6 times 7 is 42. I'm done. They forgot to do half. Remember, you have a square or rectangle parallelogram, and you cut it in half to make a triangle. So you got to cut it in half. Half of 42 is 21. And how do the area of the two compare? They're both equal to each other. Number 14 is the last question, I believe, is volume. So the volume formula is capital V equal capital BH. So what we taught in class is capital B. What shape is the base, the bottom of this picture? It is a rectangle. Or you can just do it right here. Is you see a rectangle. So we draw a rectangle. How would you find this area of this rectangle? You multiply the base times height, or 3 times 4 is 12. The height of it is 12.5 or 12 and a half. If you multiply 12.5 times 12, 2 times 5 is 10. Carry 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Cancel. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. It adds up to 150 cubic millimeter. And that is how you do volume. So get ready for your test tomorrow. Good luck, guys.